So here's something that I've been noticing about myself lately. And that is I've been trying to heal relational wounds in isolation. And I believe it's the biggest thing that's been keeping me stuck. And I don't think that it's just me. I think a lot of us tend to do this. But before I get into that further, I would like to let you know that I now offer perspective sessions where I help you get emotional clarity, come into alignment with the truth you may already know, perspective around whatever the situation is, and to help you see the situation fully without distortion. If there's something that you may be interested in, check out my last video where I talk about it more, or click the link in the description or comment below to let me know there's something you're interested in, and I will follow up. So back to me noticing how I go into isolation to heal from relational wounds. And this is not just about romantic relationships. It's about platonic ones, work ones, friendships, all the relationships. I realized that I was thinking before that I go in isolation to heal. And sometimes I do go in isolation to heal. And I'm not saying that you would never need to not go into isolation to heal. But that was not the real roots of me going into isolation. The real root for me when I go into isolation is safety. I feel safest with myself, so I go in isolation for safety more than healing. But it's not getting me the results that I want. And the main thing that I want is to be connected with people, to be in relation with people. But I can't do that in isolation. So it got me to thinking. And when I started thinking about it, I realized that it's safety that I'm after. And so I asked myself another question. I said, so if safety is what you're looking for, how can you tell when a relationship is safe for you, whether it's romantic, platonic, or friendship? And I made a little quick list. And so I'm going to go over 5 things that I realize I need in a relationship to feel safe, because you can't heal relational wounds in isolation. You have to be in it to win it. You have to be in it to be your capacity. You have to be in it to connect, if connection is what you want. So the 5 things that I have on my list for now, and I'm sure the list will grow as I investigate what safety looks like more for me. So the first thing that I have is I want to be in a relationship. I want to be in relationships where I can be honest. Relationships where I don't have to filter every little thing that I say, shrink my thoughts, or dance around certain topics. I need to be able to be honest. And of course, honest with care. Because some people be honest to be rude. And that's not what I'm about. So I want to be honest, but I'm definitely going to do it with care, because I want people to be honest with me with care, and not be honest and not weaponize the honesty. So 2, because that's an experience that I have where people only tell me the truth when they're upset. And when you're telling the truth to somebody simply because you're upset, you're doing it to hurt them. You're doing it to weaponize the honesty. Second thing, I do not like having to express my emotions, my feelings around a certain situation, and then have them dismissed or invalidated. I don't need for people to agree with me when it comes to me venting or expressing certain emotions, but just because you don't agree does not mean you have to be dismissive, hurtful, or invalidating. At least try to understand. Because I'm the type of person, I understand a lot of what people say and are going through, even if I don't agree. And that is also what I need in relationships to feel safe. And I also need to express my feelings if someone hurts me in relationships where it's not being pushed back to me out of pettiness, out of spite. Like, to get to the core of certain situations, we need precision. And we can't really get precision in getting to a resolution if we're flipping it back on a person when they're expressing how we may have hurt them. The third thing I need is consistency. Now, I understand moods change and all that, but I don't want to be in a situation where it's extreme hot and cold. And keep in mind, I'm not talking about just, I just feel like I have to keep going back to this point. This is not only just romantic, it could be platonic friendship as well. And I feel like I need this. This is where I'm at with it right now. I feel like I need all of these things more in my friendships than my relationships, although I do need them in my romantic relationships too, but there's something else I gotta get to the bottom of. But anyway, back to this point. So consistency. I don't want to have to question what's going on. I don't like that. As an overthinker, I need clarity. I don't like ambiguous situations. And if I have to constantly wonder where I stand with somebody or wonder if they care about me or value me, then I got to get up out of there. I got to get up out of there. The next thing is not performing to be valued. So I have a tendency to give grace because I feel like if I can give grace, then I can see where I can be better to make the person who I feel like is not valuing me feel more value, and then maybe they'll value me in return some. But I don't want to perform like that anymore. It's exhausting. I don't want to exhaust myself with trying to be this perfect person or continuously over consider someone where they're not even considering me or consider them more than I consider myself just to be valued. Like, no. Because I feel like if I have to do all that performance, all that jumping through hoops, so forth and so on, then you don't value me. As a partner in a relationship, as a friend, in platonic situations either. I just, no. The older I get, the less I want to do all that stuff, the less I want to constantly be extending grace because we know what we doing. We know what we be doing. We're all old enough to know what we be doing. So, yeah. And then the fifth thing, how repair after conflict and tension is handled. Now, I understand taking a beat and getting silent to process and think. But if you're getting silent out of spitefulness, to be petty, the silent treatment, trying to make me suffer, then that is not what repair really is and what it looks like. Repair is important. And I feel like you can't let too much time go between repairing a situation, like genuinely repairing. Because I wanted to say genuinely repairing because I know some people will give like a lazy, lackadaisical, effortless apology just to hurry up and to rebuild an attachment, not a real connection and not real repair. No. I need to know that you understand how you affected me, how you hurt me. And all of this stuff that I'm naming, I give without question. I repair quickly and honestly, wholeheartedly, because I know what it feels like not to have that. I know what it feels like not to have all of these things that I mentioned. So I do it quickly, honestly, genuinely, because I value connections. Anybody in my space, I value them and I value being connected with them. So I want to talk about it. I want to do all the things to repair because I want people to know that I value them. So yeah, no lazy apologies, no brushing over the situation, no acting like it didn't happen, none of that type of stuff because if I don't feel like it's resolved or we can at least come to some sort of resolution, then I'm going to carry that, and it's going to build, 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 build. And another rupture is sure to come. And that does not feel safe for me. So, if you're here and you're listening, you take anything away from all the stuff that I just said, is that while sometimes going into isolation to heal, healing relational wounds for the most part cannot be done in isolation. You have to be in relationships to do that. And you also need to determine what feels safe for you when being in relationships to heal those relational wounds, and even to learn more about yourself. Because I believe being in a relationship with other people teaches us about the relationship we have with ourselves, which is something else that we can't fully learn in isolation, even when isolation feels safe. So that's all that I have. I'm still thinking around that. Of course, any topic that I talk about here, I always come back to it to go more into the layers of it. But if you're new here, my name is Latrice. Here's why I think out loud, reflect honestly, name patterns that keep us stuck. If anything here on my channels resonates with you, feel free to take what you need. If it doesn't, please feel free to leave it. If you feel like we're aligned, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button to push the video to more people. And also hit it if it was anything here was helpful, anything resonated with you. Also hit the hype button, all the things, and I will be back in the next video.